Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of Is It Worth My Time? This time around, it's the or Netflix series, I should say, the third season and final season of the Netflix series Lost in Space. See, I can actually get that together sooner or later. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business and then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you don't want to be notified, best thing to do is hit that bell down below there. It's a 100% chance that YouTube won't notify you. So what you should do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com, bookmark it, something like that. Take a look at it. That's where I've got the schedule. I change it out every week for what I'm going to be doing here. Excuse me. I've also got all the links to all my social media on there and all the links to my pages on there as well. Sorry, I inhaled wrong all of a sudden, you know. There we go. Now, normally for these things, I do a spoiler-free version at the beginning of this, and but since this is season 3, you've probably already watched seasons 1 and 2 of Lost in Space, and if you haven't, I also have Is It Worth My Times for both of those seasons as well. Just go back and take a look in the archives under Is It Worth My Time, and I've got it in there as well. So I'm just going straight to the spoilers at this point because why not? So from here on out, spoilers, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episodes, or I should say the series here this season. If you have not seen it, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. All right, I'm giving you enough time to hit pause, stop, whatever you want to do, all that kind of good stuff. So it pretty much takes place right where we left off, at the end of season 2. Um, is it still the camp with a veneer of quality? I don't know if it was ever really camp, Apple Crow. It had the spirit of the original series, like the first season of the original series, but modernized. That's the way I looked at it. And yes, it has a little bit of humor to it, but not a lot in there. Just enough to make like real life, just enough to make things interesting. Um, so of course we start off where we left off at the end of season 2 with 97 kids on board at the Jupiter 2 with Robot going away from the robot invasion that was coming in to destroy the adults and everything. And we see them jump to another system, a planet that's ruined, and their ship gets damaged, of course, and they need to land on that planet. But not before they find an old ship that is in orbit around the planet there. And it might be the ship that Judy Robinson's father, who was an astronaut, Grant Kelly, is on. So there we go. Fast forward a year, they are still on the planet and they're basically trying to, Will is trying to rebuild one of the engines so they can get off planet, all this kind of stuff. And in the meantime, the adults are still off in their system and they are still, you know, hiding from the robots, from Sar and his faction of robots. And it's pretty tense. I mean, they're getting their asses handed to them, really is what it is. And I agree with you, Pen. I really like Dr. Smith as well. Parker Posey does a great job in this. And they the whole thing of this season is that the kids have grown. Um they've grown into their own. Also, Judy finding her father. Um we get to learn a little bit more about Maureen Robinson in this, and what happened to her, that she was actually an astronaut in training before she got pregnant with Judy. and she just decided she wasn't going to abandon Judy to go, on this mission that she might not come back for decades from. So yeah, she made that decision. Um, and we also find out that SAR is it's essentially a singularity if you want to get down to it. Um, an AI uprising is what happened. So we find the planet that's destroyed is actually the planet that the robots have come from. That is where they were built, and their makers have been killed by SAR. SAR actually used one of the jump drives to jump drive part of the planet away, and he was going to do the same to Alpha Centauri. So we actually end up seeing Alpha Centauri. We get there as well, and they did a good job of this, I have to admit. I mean, I was engaged it was like one of those things where you're watching this and you're saying, "Okay," usually when you're watching a Netflix series, you go, "Okay, one more episode." If it's really good, you're like, "All right, I'll just do one more episode." "Oh, okay, I'll do one more episode." I found myself doing that. I kinda burned through this pretty quickly, um, and I enjoyed it, honestly. It's a good series from beginning to end. Um, I know Apple Crow says it's camp. It's really not. It's got a good foundation to it. Don West is pretty much the only campy thing, and even he has his moments of being serious as well. And yeah, I really liked what they did with this. This was actually pretty good, and um, having the whole thing with NASA contingencies, if you will. Also, robots that have feelings with revenge, all this kind of these are all things that are actually rolled into this whole season. And also having Dr. Smith, a redemption arc, if you will, of can someone actually come back from being how evil they are, yeah, or not even evil, but doing the things that they have done, and you get that kind of redemption arc as well. I know I'm being kind of vague, but there was a lot of stuff that was thrown in season 3 that's not going to be covered in 20, 30 minutes here of me talking about it. So it's if you like sci-fi, if you like some good special effects, um it's worth it. It's worth your time. It's actually pretty good. The robot suit, for robot was getting a little iffy in some areas here in this season. You could tell that they didn't have enough money, I think, to CGI some of it. So you can totally tell it's a guy in a suit at some points in time, but obviously it's a guy in a suit. We already know this. Not a big deal. Other than that, it's a decent series, and yes, it is worth your time. So, I have to admit, and some of the things they also offered too were kind of interesting. Having a planet which had part of its surface, I guess you could say, um, warped out of existence, and you have the atmosphere kind of burn off at that point. But there are pockets of atmosphere that are still left in like really deep valleys, canyons, things like that, and that's where the kids actually find a place to live on that planet. Um, I thought that was kinda interesting. I mean, just using science, if you will, and I thought they did a good job. I think they did a good job of all of this. And yes, of course, a lot of it's sci-fi too, but dang. And I think what this takes place in 2050 in the 2050s, or yeah, I think it's 2050s is what they said. So it's fairly, close here in like 30 years. Yeah. But not bad. And of course, 30 years from now, people are going to look at this and go, "Pfeh, they got that wrong. Completely wrong. There's no space travel, no killer robots, except for the ones that have just been chasing us that we built ourselves." Anyway, I digress. So, what else do I have going on this week? Well, funny you should ask. Tomorrow is going to be another episode of Hawkeye. That's right, Hawkeye. And it's going to be episode 4 of Hawkeye. From what I understand, episode 5, which of course is the week of Spider-Man No Way Home. Um Everything I've been reading so far says that it's going to make, as the showrunners have said, it's going to make Twitter blow up, is quote unquote. So, which means they're going to introduce a certain fat man. Yes. Or reintroduce a certain fat man. He's going to be part of the MCU. Yes. And that's going to be next week, not this week, but next week. So Wednesday will be Hawkeye. Thursday, I'm going to be off. Friday is a double header because Amazon, in their wisdom that they do, have both The Wheel of Time and The Expanse season 6, episode 1, back to back there. So, yeah. Granted, The Expanse is going to be coming out really on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I believe is what they said, which is 4 p.m. Pacific time. So I'll be able to watch it, but I'm not going to be able to cover it on Thursday. I just don't think I'm going to be able to do it in time. So that's why I'm moving it over to Friday. Yeah. Saturday will be Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the weekend and genre stuff you guys want to talk about. We talk about it. Sunday I'll be off. Monday I may be doing spoiler alert. I don't know as of yet. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to actually do some stuff yesterday, so that's the reason why there was no spoiler alert. But we'll see. And then, of course, Tuesday rolls back around again to another Is It Worth My Time? And I do have something planned. I can't remember what it is. It's in my book, which is over there. But you can take a look over it, as Penn has put up there, suspendedfanimation.com, and take a look what I have going on. I'll change it out. Apple Crow says, like how the 80s sci-fi was set in the dark future of 1999. Yes. Yes. Well, the same thing, like, what was it? Escape from New York was, I believe, 1990. Well, so Escape from New York was done in 1980, and I believe they set it in, what was it, 1999? Or was it the 95? I can't remember offhand. It's been a while. I've got it up here, and I just haven't watched it in a while. Well, The Running Man was set in, that was done in the 90s, and they set that one in 2017. Yes, 2017. And that was actually fairly accurate. You're hyped more for The Expanse. Okay. Well, you'll get it. So yeah, I'm gonna end up doing Wheel of Time at 5:30 is what I'm trying to do. And then of course I'm gonna try and do The Expanse at 6:30 is what I'm doing for back to back. 1997. Thank you, Penn. Yeah, I knew it was someplace in there. I couldn't remember exactly when. And I mean, New York really was kind of that dirty in 1990. Apocro says, "Yeah, I've been absent. Far too much adulting to do recently. Oh, I'm sorry. Me too. Me too. Yeah, I've been looking for a new place to live, kind of thing. And I mean, granted, I could stay here and do month to month and whatnot, but I just not really feeling it. If you dig me here, yeah." Yes, Back to the Future 2 is 2015. Running Man was set 2017. Yes. I remember there was food riots and stuff like that in the Running Man, which were fairly accurate. I mean, yeah. All right. So with all of that there, I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, pops up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you don't want to be notified of when I'm on live again next, you can hit that bell down below. It's a 100% chance that YouTube won't notify you. So the best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. That'll actually tell you when I'm going to be on. I change it out every week. Also have all the links to my social media on there and all the links to my pages as well. Oh, Pen, I've been looking for it's been a few months now. So there's just shit out there. I mean, just absolute shit. So yeah, not the greatest of things to find out here. And also in the Bay Area, it's very expensive too. San Francisco Bay Area is extremely expensive for shit. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, that's the advent calendar that I've been opening here and there. And so far, it's been all these pins from WandaVision. And then this last one right here is actually Captain America, Sam Wilson, Captain America. And the one you can't see that's just off camera that I just opened today is actually the shield, the Captain America shield. Apple Crow says you could move out to Texas and slip my wrists. No. Um, I no, no, no. Um, yeah, no, yeah. Just even the mention of Texas is like no, yeah. Penn says I know finding a place is rough right now. Everywhere I figured it's way worse there. Um, it's it's interesting. Let's just say that. So I'm actually looking at buying a place is what I'm doing. And yeah, there's when you have an inspector background, I go through disclosures. So this is taking a tangent. I know this. So I know what I'm looking for when I'm going through and looking at disclosures. And so when they're saying stuff like, a house has broken roof joists. So roof joists are what hold the roof up. And when they have a picture of a broken joist that's doing that, um, that's a 50 to $80,000 job, and also that means your roof is gonna come down at some point in time, and that house actually, as a matter of fact, no, I take that back. The other one had broken floor joists, which hold your floor up, and they fixed one, but there was 2 more that needed to be fixed, and that one with the broken floor joist, and it had a whole host of other problems, went for $40,000 over its asking price, so that's what I'm looking at. People are just dumping garbage on the market right now because they can. But anyway, I digress. You don't want to hear about that. You want to hear about fantasy stuff and fun stuff and things like that. Me too. The little dog is out cold right now because she's nice and warm. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow for Hawkeye. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find out that that home that you're looking for actually has broken floor joists and broken roof joists, and it's just a fucking dumpster fire, and all you're just paying for is the land anyway, and you're really overpaying for it. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care. Get those vaccine shots, get those flu shots as well, and stay safe out there, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good night. And I'm not moving to Texas. That's for damn sure. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.